On the left is the microscopic neural network of a human brain. On the right, the macro structure of our universe, the cosmic web. At a glance, the physical architecture of human consciousness and deep space look almost identical. To understand why, we look at physics. We rely on classical physics for massive planets and quantum mechanics for atoms. But trying to combine these rulebooks to explain the entire universe shatters the math. Scientists have spent decades searching for a single bridge. In 2020, astrophysicist Franco Vazza and neurosurgeon Alberto Folletti approached the problem from a highly unusual angle. They asked if the universe itself functions as a massive biological network. If these visual similarities point to a shared physical reality, they offer a new path towards investigating the fundamental disconnect in modern physics. This inquiry isn't science fiction. It's a published study built on data gathered by our most advanced deep space optics. The researchers took samples of the human cerebrum and cerebellum and examined them at 40x magnification, searching for structural overlaps with the cosmic web. We must determine if this visual overlap points to a physical truth about the cosmos, or if it is entirely a trick of human perception. The first pillar of evidence is network geometry. A neuron connects with roughly 4 neighboring neurons. When we map the cosmos, we see a remarkably similar arrangement. An average galaxy connects to exactly 5 neighbors, following the same basic rules. Then there is the distribution of mass. A human brain's neurons make up 30% of its weight. The rest is inert water. Compare that to the universe. Galaxies account for 30% of the mass, while the remaining 70% is inert dark energy. Finding these identical 30 to 70 mass ratios across both systems takes the universe as a brain concept out of the realm of visual coincidence and grounds it in statistical data. For a structure to act like a brain, it must be capable of activity. A biological thought occurs when neurons fire electrical pulses across synapses. The cosmos has a kinetic equivalent. When stars and galaxies interact or collide, they generate gravitational waves that influence objects millions of light years away. If we view these cascading gravitational waves as the cosmic version of a neural signal, we can begin to describe the behavior of both atoms and galaxies using a single framework. This biological model provides a lens for understanding the 26 physical constants that sustain our universe. Much like a brain requires precise chemical balances to function, the cosmic brain hypothesis suggests these constants are not random, but are the required settings for an organized, complex system. Treating the universe as a highly structured, active entity provides a mathematical starting point for joining the micro and macro worlds into a single equation. However, this hypothesis faces intense scientific pushback. Many argue the similarity is merely pareidolia, a hardwired flaw in human psychology that causes us to see familiar biological patterns in random data. Physicist Boltzmann famously argued that much of the physical structure we perceive is an illusion created by our specific, limited vantage point. The most significant roadblock to this theory is the speed of light. In a human brain, signals travel at 100 meters per second, creating thoughts instantly. In the cosmos, information is limited by light speed, making communication over 93 billion light-years painfully slow. At this rate, a single thought attempting to cross the observable universe would take tens of billions of years to process. Since the universe is only 13.8 billion years old, the math suggests it is simply too young to have formulated even one cohesive thought. While the universe may not be a naturally evolved brain today, human technology is developing the tools to build it into one. In 2020, researchers used AI-modified stem cells to create xenobots, artificial organisms that consumed organic material and replicated themselves. A swarm of self-replicating nanobots could theoretically consume the Earth's resources in 20 months, eventually expanding outward to network the entire galaxy into a single intelligent system. Without rigorous control, this exponential technological expansion represents an immediate existential threat to biological life. The visual evidence might not reveal an ancient creator, but it points to a future where humanity's own technology becomes the mechanism for a cosmic-scale consciousness.